So let's get started. Is everybody hearing me now? Okay, anyway, I'm gonna start. Let's get started. Okay, so I work for Crisp, and Crisp is a messaging app allowing you to chat with your website visitors. So we have 1,050K companies using the software, and around 1,050 million, 150 million visitors using the product every month. And the good news is we bootstrapped everything. So everything started in 2015 with my co-founder Valérian. Back in the days, I was working from his flat, and I started 42, the 42 school as well. And we were in a mission to create a great customer support for startups. And it's exactly what we did. So we started to design everything and to create an MVP. What we call an MVP is a minimum viable product. So in a few weeks, we went from zero to a usable product. And it changed a lot since, because in 5 years, we turned from this interface to this. So no matter how you start your product, because it's gonna change later. Okay, let's continue. I was checking if we had questions. So don't hesitate, guys, if you have questions. So we turn from this to this, and getting a good landing page is super important when you start a company. So we worked on a crazy landing page back in the times, and now we turn from this to this, which is more the today's standard. And we start having our first customers, and good news is we were featured on Product Hunt, and Product Hunt is super great to get traction, to get initial traction, new users. And we got lucky because back in the days, you needed a member to feature you on Product Hunt, and it's what we got. And we got a great success here, around 400 upvotes, which was quite good. And as you can see, we had a great traction from this day, and we went from like 10 users to like today, like hundreds of thousands of users. So here are my advices to create a company. So first, you need to know your reasons for creating a company, because many people nowadays are creating companies because it's trendy, because you can be famous or whatever. But it's very important to know your own reasons for creating a company. So those reasons can be like various. It can be for money, for freedom, for passion, or for fun. As I said before, it can be to be popular, like to be in the media, to show your mom you're successful, can be to change the world, making the world a better place. And some entrepreneurs like managing people as well, which is not my case. For when I started Crisp, and to be very honest, it was for money, for freedom, and for passion. And those key elements are what we follow on Crisp. Freedom is super important for us. So it's why we don't have any VCs on board. So as freedom is super important for us, yeah, we fully bootstrapped the company from the beginning, and we don't have any VCs. We do whatever we like, and it's good. Passion is important as well. We follow what we like. And it means that we always add features we like. And passion is super important for us. And money, depends for some entrepreneurs, but for us, like, it was important to have some kind of a good lifestyle, a good balance between work and enjoyment. We are like adult teenagers, forever teenagers, and we love buying fancy cars, fancy stuff, and yeah, it's Crisp. Anyway, so as I said, you don't need to raise to succeed. And today it's thought to be an evidence. But when we started Crisp 5 years ago, it wasn't. So it's a screenshot from a conference, a meeting I did like 4 years ago. And when I registered myself as a guest, I had this kind of options. So it was possible to tell my team raised a pre-seed, a seed, Series A, Series B, Series C, and you didn't have any option for bootstrapping. So you can really understand the mindset back in the times. I can turn on my cam again. Okay, great. So yeah, back in the times, it wasn't possible. It wasn't in the mindset to tell, okay, I want to bootstrap. If you were bootstrapping, you were kind of a loser. Like, it was go big or go home, but you didn't have any option in the middle. And I think there is a huge gap in the middle to get success, to get money. And it's what we did with Crisp. This one is super important, is to register your company as late as possible. Because some entrepreneurs, some new entrepreneurs, the first thing they do when they want to start a company is to go to a lawyer, to the bank, to find offices, and all of that is super defocus. What you need is to get customers, users at least, and you need to get that to get initial traction, to get money, and later, like 6 months later, 12 months later, you can register your company and you will already have traction, money, time to do that. So don't register your company initially. It's super important. And guess what? Most companies did that. Like, most companies you want to know, like Facebook, Airbnb, Uber, guess what? They did it. Do what you love and make it great. What I mean is, don't do a company because you feel there is a market somewhere. Do a company because you love something and you want to do that. For instance, before doing Crisp, I did like tens of crazy projects, and all of them failed. And I guess the reason is I wasn't a good person to do that. And when I understood that, I thought, okay, what we know the most? And what we know the most is doing great chat software. Like with my co-founder, we already did chat softwares in the past. We know everything about chat, and we made a live chat. And we did it great because it's our passion. We know all the tech behind there. We know the features people want, the market, etc. So we made it, and we made it great. And when you do that, you have a good chance of succeeding the company. And most of entrepreneurs do companies about subjects they know and subjects they love. And about loving, it's super important to do not a kind of MVP, so minimum viable product, but a minimum lovable product. What I mean is, most entrepreneurs in hackathons or events like you're doing right here do MVPs. And I guess they understand only the minimum word here. So they do the minimum because we told them to do an MVP, and they do a minimum product, and it's shit then. And you shouldn't forget the love into that, and to do what I call a minimum lovable product. The minimum lovable product is to do everything so you can release a product that users gonna use and gonna love. Because if users love your thing, your product, they're gonna spread the word about this product, and it's what you get. It's what you need to get traction. Another advice is, being a student is super great. It's super important, like, to start a company when you're a student, because, like, you're free, guys. You don't need money. You don't have any wife. You don't have any kids. You don't have any house, dog, whatever, and you're super free. It means that you can start any company and succeed. And it's why so many successful entrepreneurs started where they were students. Because once you're gonna be 35 or something, you're gonna have everything in your life, potentially a job, kids. The risk won't be the same at all. You're gonna potentially lose a lot of stuff if you fail a company. When you fail a product, when you fail a project when you are 22 or 25, you don't care. When I started Crisp, I was 21. I failed other project before. And what is good when you're a student and you're young is you don't understand any shit about what you're doing, and you are new on the market, and you are learning in the same time. And when you learn something new in the same time, it's super great, because you want to do stuff a different way. And when we started Crisp, we were like the new shiny new company on our market, and we did like many stuff differently than our competitors, and customers and leads really understood that. Finally, do remote is super great, because when you're remote, you're like, you can travel anywhere in the world. You don't need offices. It means like you don't need to buy toilet papers. You don't need to clean anything. When you're remote, you get a lot of time, like a lot of time. Fuck Windows, seriously. Okay, let's continue. So, how to get your first customers? Because I'm studying about how to succeed a company, but to succeed a company, it's super important to get initial traction and to get customers. So, you don't need to find hundreds of thousands of users to start a company. The good news is you need only 10 first users. I'm gonna explain that. So most of you folks think the world looks like that. But we are doing companies on internet, and internet is not looking like that. It's more looking like a graph like this. It means that everything is a relation. Like when you have a customer using your product, this user want to share your product on Twitter, Facebook, any social media, want to talk about your product to colleagues, friends, etc. It means you want to spread everywhere about your company. And it's very important to keep this in mind. So first, you need to get continuous feedback. It's super important to listen to customers to get feedback. So what we did with Crisp initially is we had a private beta, and one of my friends told me, okay, can I register to your product? And I told him, yeah, you can register. And what he did is he cold emailed like 10 companies telling, okay, you don't have any chat on your website. It's not normal at all. You should use Crisp. They're brand new, they're young, it's free. You should use Crisp. It's not risky. And the next day, we had 10 companies using Crisp. And using those first users, we collected a lot of feedback, continuous feedback. So you listen to what they need and you implement that. So what you can do is to add a chat like Crisp or any chat on your website. And it's super important to collect feedback about your customers, what they need, what they want to implement, because they understand what you do. And they also have the vision about what your company gonna be in 2 years. 2 years. You can do a private group, for instance, so on Facebook, a private group with testers, and you can add features based on your user request. On Crisp, all the features we have were implemented based on user feedback. So when you implement features people request, they're super happy because they feel you're listening to them. And only those first users matters. What I mean is those first users are super important because they were the ones who understood your vision. And the first users are really different than the next 1,000 users. Those are not the same. So the early adopters need to be treated a different way. And then you want to have an amplification phenomenon. What I mean is those first users, those first 10 users want to talk about your product on internet, and you can expect an amplification phenomenon. And it's what we got with Crisp. Like with just 10 users, we had like this kind of graph. It means that they talked about Crisp. One of them upvoted us on Product Hunt, featured us on Product Hunt, and they all talked about Crisp. And it's great because it's free traction. You don't need any sales marketers. You just need to make a good product. Then you need to go to thousands of users to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands users. And what I used for this is the ARR framework. The ARR framework is for acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue. So acquisition is where your customers are coming from. So for instance, they type your name on Google, they find your website. Activation is when your user want to go to your website, want to understand what you do, and want to sign up. Retention is once your user sign up, or you get the user from day 0 to day 12. So, or you retain the customer. And referral is or you get this user to share your product to other potential users. And finally, revenue. It's obvious. So I want to remove the revenue aspect to simplify the framework. And we're going to reverse the framework in the opposite way. Because what we understood at Crisp is we didn't need it to focus on acquisition. Because if you focus on acquisition and you improve from 10%, 12%, or 20% your acquisition, you want to just increase from 10 or 20% your revenue. However, if you improve the referral rate from like 10% or 12%, you're gonna double the acquisition and you can double the revenue. So all you need to do is to double down on all the parts at the end of the framework. So you don't need to focus on acquisition, but you need to focus on referral retention. And when you do that, you have a good chance of like having a crazy company. So referral, what you need to do is to let people share your product to other people. This way you're gonna attract free users. Like you won't need to spend money to attract new customers. So what you can do is to get an affiliate program, for instance. It's like new bank, digital banks do, or Uber Eats, Deliveroo. Let's say on Deliveroo, you buy your first meal, and if you invite a friend, you want to have a voucher. So this is a typical affiliate program. You can do a referral link. It's what we do on Crisp. So on Crisp, we have a freemium model. It means that when you have your chat on your website, your Crisp chat on your website, you want to have a powered by Crisp a link at the bottom of the chat, and it's what we call a referral link. It's gonna attract new visitors to our website for free, and it's super good. What is good as well is the word of mouth. It means that people want to talk about your product, and when you have that, wow, it's crazy. It's how Facebook started, for instance. Essentially word of mouth. They didn't have to spend money on to get traction. And finally, the social proof. So here is the affiliate link. Then you need to focus on retention. I want to check if we have any questions. Nope. Let's continue then. You need to focus on retention. So what is retention? Retention is having a good product. It's obvious, but when you have a good product, people want to stay with you on the long term because what you do is good. And you need to have a good customer support. So retention is 80% about having a good product, but obviously your product is not perfect, so people want to contact you on the customer support. And for the 20% or 10% that remains, it's customer support. So you need to care a lot about customers, because when you succeed customer support, people want to be happy and they're going to stay with you. But if you fail that, they want to tell you suck on Facebook, they want to tell you suck on Twitter, everywhere on the internet, and you don't want that. So you need good support. And finally, what we do at Crisp is customer support driven development. Customer support driven development is essentially doing everything we can on the product to prevent from customers from contacting you because there is a problem. What I mean is we test everything. We do everything in mind that we could fail something. And if we fail something, people want to contact us on Crisp and it want to suck. So at Crisp, developers do customer support as well, essentially to understand that when they do bugs, we have tens or hundreds of people who want to complain. So you don't want bugs. So we solve everything before, and this way we don't have so many customer support. And finally, retention is a state of mind. You need to understand that to have a good traction, you need to focus on retention and not on acquisition. Because retention is like acquisition multiplied per 5. So focus everything on that. And about retention, what we did, I was talking about the customer support driven development. A typical case on SaaS software is people lose their password. Every day you want to have people who are going to say, I lost my password, your product sucks because I typed my password 3 times and it doesn't work. So I think your API has a problem. And guess what? It's not, because it's their fault. And we know that. And what we did at Crisp is when you reset your password on Crisp, we had in the email suggestions to use a password manager. Can be any password manager, but we believe that password managers help customers to prevent losing their password for obvious reasons. And finally, you should let customers to contact you easily on key parts of your funnels. For instance, if they fail signing up, if they fail paying for your product, at this key moment, you should pop a chat and to say, hey, there is a problem, how can I help? And it really helps solving issues with customers. It's what we did at Crisp, and inside our app, there is a chat, and it let people to contact us directly from the mobile app or from the desktop app to let us know when there is an issue. And this way, we went from 4.2 on the App Store to 4.8. Because instead of trashing us on the reviews, they tell us immediately on the chat what happens. So yeah, let them chat when shit happens. And finally, at a later stage, what you can do is customer success. To understand, to do call with your customers and to understand their journey and how you can improve their user experience. But it's at a later stage. Activation. So activation is converting visitors into users. How we can do that? Everything is about the aha moment. And it's super important to understand the key moment where the visitors tells, okay, I understand what this product is for and I want to use it. For instance, on Twitter, it's when you start following people. It's the aha moment, and it's when you're gonna feel the value of Twitter. On Tinder, for instance, it's when you want to match with someone. At this key moment, you wanna think, okay, this app is useful to me. And on Crisp, we understood that the aha moment was when people were adding Crisp on their chat and when they received the first message with customers. And we knew that because we are using a product called Amplitude for the analytics. And as you can see, when people start sending a message, we had 50% of chance of having them at week 10, which is amazing. Like 50% of retention is super crazy. So we doubled down to make everything to be sure that people signing up for Crisp add their chat on their website. So one activation, what you can do is to improve your onboarding, to when people sign up on your product, to make them feel good, to understand what you do, and to let them going from signing up to the aha moment. What you can do as well is to do help content, doing content like videos, articles, to let them understand maybe the technical stuff or the difficult stuff about your product. What we do at Crisp is we try understanding the customer and who is the customer, and we do emails, automated emails to guide customers, new users into the aha moment. We do everything to make sure they add Crisp on their site. So for instance, as soon as you sign up, we send you to your email address a reminder that you should add Crisp to your site. And here are the links to add Crisp for WordPress, for Shopify, for whatever. And you need to optimize acquisition channels. So we understood at Crisp that 50% of users were coming from WordPress. So we doubled down on this channel. Initially, to let people adding Crisp on their website, they had to copy paste our chat widget code on WordPress. And it wasn't a great experience. So what we did is to automate everything, and like just within a button, in few seconds, boom, Crisp is on the site. That is good experience. That is a key feature to let them going to sign up to aha moment. So yeah, you can do videos to get users about your product. Next. So yeah, we do videos at Crisp in this studio where I'm talking currently. So we have a studio where we shoot every video. I have a button right here to record, and it's super fast. And we do a lot of videos. And finally, the last one you should focus on is acquisition. So on acquisition, you can use every free channel, forums on internet. You need to talk about you. Even when you do car sharing, car pooling, you need to talk about your company. You need to, every time you meet someone, you need to talk about your company. It's super important. Not only to have users, but also to make you understand exactly your storytelling. Obviously, you can do SEO, and you need a great landing page. Acquisition is, for me, all about a great landing page. You can use free channels like Quora or Product Hunt. Quora is question and answers, and you can use that. Like, you have hundreds of questions on Quora you can reply to, and to sell, to not to sell, but just to tell, I have the answer to your problem, and you could use this product, which I made, and it's great to solve the problem you have. And it's a typical problem on Quora. You want to find on internet like thousands of questions about anything, and I'm pretty sure you can reply to one of those questions. And Product Hunt, obviously, it's back in the times, like 5 years later, 5 years ago, it was super crazy to be on Product Hunt. It's still, but not in the same way, but it's still very important to be featured on Product Hunt, because you can have a lot of early adopters on Product Hunt. So I was talking about Quora. I replied to many questions on Quora, and as you can see, results are here. More than around 140K views, which is good. And about Product Hunt, we did different Product Hunts on Crisp, and we went to more than thousands of votes, which is good as well. and optimize your landing page. It's super important to optimize your landing page. So here you could use a product like Hotjar, which allow you to do heat maps on your website. So this way you can feel the hot points to know where people are clicking on your site, what they see, what their eyes see, and to be simple. And it want to help you to change the content, the display of your landing page in order to optimize the click rate. So it's the end of this talk. I really hope you like it. And don't hesitate to ask any question while I'm still on the video. Oh yeah. So how to form a team? It's a great question. So to do a team, I guess you need to be confident with the people you want to do the team with. So I did a team with a friend of mine. So at Crisp, we are just two co-founders, and what we did is we did 50-50. We are just developers. We are quite the same, to be honest. And Valérian became the CTO. I became the CEO, but we are both developers. And I think it's super important to be super friend with your co-founder, because you want to have hard moments, like good moments, hard moments, and to continue and to do a good company, you need to have someone where you can trust and rely on when you have anything going wrong. So I think it's good to do a company when you're students, and to start a company with a friend from your classroom. But it's super important as well that you work the same way, the same amount of time, you trust and understand each other. Most people think that when you do a company, you need like a marketer, a developer, a designer, financial people, and it's bullshit. What you need is people who really understand each other and who have the same vision, and boom, we do the company like that. For instance, we were bad like talking in events like that. Like 5 years ago, I wouldn't be able to do that. We were bad at selling, bad at managing a company. To be honest with you, when I did the financial lessons to manage a company when I was in engineering school with my co-founder, we were the worst people in the classroom, like the worst. I had 5 on 20, so it's like a F grade, and we didn't understand how to own a company or to the financial works. But when you do a company, you want to figure out. Do you have any other question? Yeah, about acceleration and raising money. At Crisp, we are some kind of rookies. For us, it will be possible to raise money. Like every week, I have huge funds, European funds or American funds look and giving us money. But as I said before, we have on Crisp 3 essential goals: money, freedom, and passion. And when you have investors, you want to lose something, which is freedom. When you have investors on board, you have a term sheet and you are forced to commit to a lot of different stuff. So you are committed into the next 18 months to follow a plan and to commit to that. And at Crisp, we like to follow our dreams, to sometimes do some stuff we are not supposed to do. For instance, currently we were not working really on Crisp. We are working on a side project, which is called the Maker Project, which is an open source emergency ventilator project for hospitals, French hospitals, which is currently in clinical trials. And it wouldn't be possible to do that. When you have investors. So this is about investors. And then about accelerators. The super good aspect with the family is it's really a family, and it means you can talk to anyone at the family, and people want to help you. The members want to help you for growth. For instance, when we started Crisp, we sucked at doing growth. I didn't understood anything of that, and I talked to growth hackers to share some tricks about that. And so we helped about the tech stuff, and they helped us about the growth stuff, and it really allowed us to do a growing company. For instance, when I joined the family, I was 21, and I had a meeting with Jill at the family, and I was pitching myself and the company about what we were doing. And at the end, he told me, okay, so you are doing essentially a SaaS software. What? SaaS what? And I didn't know what SaaS software as a service was. But as I explained before, when you are young, you are really new on the market. You don't understand any shit about what you're doing, and it's good. Guess what? It's good to don't understand anything, because you want to do everything in a different way. And about being profitable, what we did is we offered Crisp for free for a year. So it wasn't a problem because we were students. We didn't need the money so much, but being free helped us going to product market fit, to understand the market, and we did it from 0 to 10,000 customers, 10,000 users, and it allowed us to get traction, to understand what people want. And we implemented that, and then we did a new version of Crisp with paid features. And we still have a freemium model, but we also have paid features. So all the features we had for free remained free, almost all of them. And all the features early users suggested were implemented, and we did a paid model. And 2 years after starting the company was super profitable, and it's still. Any questions? Nope. So then I want to leave you. It was great. I think you. Oh yeah, timing. So how long? It took 2 years. I guess 2 years to be profitable. 1 year and 1 year and a half, I guess. Yeah, 1 year and a half to be profitable, and 2 years to be super profitable. I just want to say something is, don't forget the chance you have as a developer, and it's a great opportunity nowadays to create a company with the COVID-19 crisis. You are at home, you have a great window to create a company. You won't fail anything, because most of you guys are students and developers. You have a great window to start companies. Just do that. Yeah, just try. And if you fail, move on. But just keep in mind that it's a great period to create companies. So I guess you like this talk, and you enjoyed it. Bye.